Welcome to Wild West Garage. My name is Morgan, and that is a 1950 Chevy cab. And for those of you that have been following me over the last year or so, you know about this cab. And I haven't worked on it much lately. I did fix the front of this fender, and now I'm going to address this area here. As you can see, it's pretty badly broken up. Not rusted necessarily, I mean surface rust, but it's not rotted out, it's just mangled. So I'm going to cut this out and make a piece to go in there. That, I'm assuming, is straight along the bottom. It's got that sort of look to it. So there we go. Well, good to hammer that down a little bit more. This whole area's got a bit of a shape to it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. You know, I don't put a lot of thought into how I wheel things. If I want the panel to move that way, I just sort of press on the side here, and it goes. It just goes that way. I don't think about, how I'm going to run each pass. I just kind of go at it, and it works out. Usually, I mean, you got to think about it a little bit, what you want to accomplish. I think you can overthink this stuff a lot. See, now I'm thinking about what I'm trying to do here, and it's not doing it. But if I just push on it, it goes. I just find that if you think about too much, your mind can't keep up with how fast your hands can go, it seems. At least mine can't. Maybe yours can, I don't know. Look at the shape. Look at the shape we got going here already. I just want to wheel over these.
This piece had some bends in it that I flattened out, and that's why it sounds so rough.
Into this now, maybe too much. But if I wheel it more on the outside, it'll take it out. Anyways, I'm just going to start wheeling this a little more methodically now. If you want to build shape, you gotta wheel more in the middle than on the outside edges. See, I'm thinking again and I'm running off. I'm going to wheel it this way some. So I'm just pushing on the side, and it's gradually working its way over. Yeah, I think that's probably enough shape in there. Yeah, plenty. I'm just going to go right in this area here. So it's fairly uniform now. Probably too much shape, but that's okay. Okay, now I've got to trim this. So I'm just going to lay it on here like that. sticky outy bit here, little needle. Just gonna flatten this out a bit. That's plenty of material there. So I'm just gonna get a little mark like that, and then I'm just gonna roll this over the edge. Trace on the back side of it. Give me an idea how much material I need. Okay, I've got the other fender. I've got the other fender over there. So it's going to give me a pretty good idea of what this shape needs to be. So I'm just going to eyeball it from the other fender and then draw it on here. Okay, there we go. That's roughly it. I'll refine that a little bit, make it a little smoother lines. I'll actually go bigger, go further out. I don't need this piece here. I don't need this material here. Something ain't right here. Something is not right. Part of what's not right here is it's kicked out a little bit here. Okay, that's the new shape I'm going with right here. See that? That new line there? So ignore this. I'll just rub that off.
You might notice in a second here that the blank magically gets smaller, and that's because I edited out a lot of this development stuff. It was just going on and on and on, and I actually trimmed the piece here a little bit, so it's getting to where I want it, and it's almost ready to start shaping.
Okay, so here's the blank. That actually fits there really nice, like right here. I think that's going to be fine. Cutting it kind of turned it up there at the edge. Yeah, so that fits down on there good. So here's the kind of obvious part. This needs to roll in and under, but I'm not really sure how the transition goes here from this curled J piece here, like it's a J section, right, to just a straight. This just rolls in and attaches to this reinforcement. So I'm not sure how that transitions. So I've got some witness marks here. So I can put this back in the same place. I drew a line across here. There we go, there's the corners. Just put another mark there. Got this mark here, got this mark here. So I can reposition this every time, right? So I'm going to shrink this edge here quite a bit, right up to about here, and that's going to make this naturally want to fold over. It's starting to wrinkle up here, so I got to take those out. Okay, so I was just kind of, I'm going to say it, I was rushing into this, and I realized that I don't need to shrink it up here at all because that's just going to fold around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flange this part out, re-expand it, then I'm just going to focus the shrinking in this zone right here, because that's the only part that needs to shrink to do what it's got to do. So let's get on that right now. going to cut this a little different. Trim off, I should say. I'm going to trim off a little bit more of this material here. So I'm going to do some more shrinking in this area here. In my mind, I'm thinking this is, at this point, this is a difficult thing to do. This is not going to be an easy job. I need to stretch this area out here a bit. Yeah, this needs to be stretched so these ends can come down. I thought I had too much faith, but I don't have enough. I'll use the English wheel to do that if I can. It's a pretty small piece. So there's a line here. There's a little bit of a ridge here. So that's what that green line is I just drew on there. So it's fitting really well all along here now. I'm not getting any weird distortion or anything. So I think I'm going to start forming this J. I'm still not sure how this is going to transition. Okay, so top or outer face of the panel, this is where it starts to, curve into the fender well, and this is the piece that hooks in underneath this piece here. So I don't need all this material, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim off a bunch more of this. I don't want to be fighting it. And just looking at the other fender there, it just kind of looks like it. It just, this hook piece here kind of just opens up. Well, it would have to. Okay, so I'm going to clean this face up a bit here. It's a little rough. And then I'm going to start folding this inside. It's a lot rough. I'm going to do a little bit more shrinking on that edge.
And it needs a little more shrinking. So this is really the point in the project where everything sort of comes together. Folding this over it kind of locks you in and you're going to see what happens in a minute here. I'm going to have to do some take some drastic measures to get this thing to fit the fender. Once I've got this this hook formed in it, it alters the part drastically. It's just this transition is getting me here. See, now that's changed everything. Curling it's flattened this right out now here. So I've got to planish this out more to bring this back into a curve. I mean, it's there, but not quite what I want. I'm just going to lightly tap this over the hole, the tool holder hole here, just to stretch this a bit, and then I'll planish it out. It's amazing how strong this is now. There's a kink right here. It's not a smooth transition.
I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but so if I hold it on down here, it's sticking way up here. So that means that this needs to this needs to be curved. Same thing if I hold it here to where it looks good. It's way too high there. So this whole area here needs to shrink. And now that I've got it all folded over, the only way I'm going to get it to do that is to cut through here and weld it back together. And if that's what I have to do, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, because that's way off. And the only other way to make it curve is to stretch this whole piece up here a whole bunch. So we'll do that. I don't know if I want to do that. So a lot of stretching. I even have to stretch it into here a little bit. I don't want to cut it, but at this point, it's my only option. Make 2 or 3, maybe 3 cuts in this, so it can turn.
It's not my only option, but it's my best option at this point. So just to be clear, I had to do a lot of dolly work and manipulation on this area where I did the cuts. Probably 5 to 10 minutes of messing around with hammer and dolly. But this video is getting pretty long, so I had to make some cuts, not only on the material but on the video clips. So we'll just get this welded up and ground down and show you how it worked out.
Okay, there we go. After a little bit of picking and filing and ground these welds down. Can't even tell. So, I don't know if you watched the whole video, you remember I talked about, I thought I'd overshrunk this area here. And I ended up planishing it out and expanding it again. But really I should have just left it alone, I guess, in hindsight. So anyways, this is just it's a learning process, right? What else? So you can see it's sitting on there really nicely now. One clamp, nothing's being forced. Coming up a little short down here, but I think once this is actually in the fender, it'll go down a little bit. Probably not that much, but it's going to be okay. It's catching the mounting hole there, so it'll be all right. It's down low. If you want to bend your head down there and look at it when it's on the truck, go ahead. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this now. I was kind of getting a little worried there at one point that it wasn't gonna work out. Okay, you can see I've drawn a line on here, so I've got to make a considerable correction to this fold line here. It's got to move up. So get to that. Folding over pretty nice. So I'm gonna try this using the vice grips again. Now that I've folded it a little bit with the hammer, I'll be able to reach in here and grab it and just pull it in. Just flattening the original corner out with the vice grips to move the corner up. Okay, and just in doing that, that's affected this curve of this top back edge here. So I'm gonna have to do some more stretching on that. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run some beads on here, and that'll shrink that. You can see those welds I put on there. It's had some effect, but not as much as I wanted it to. That's where I want this to line up. This is high here now. If I put it down like that, it just takes on this kinky look to it, like a kink in it. I guess I could, yeah, I think I can push this down a little bit when I weld it. Yeah, I think I can get away with that. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna grind all this stuff off first though. I'll be back. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm not super happy with the fit, but I think I can get away with it. I'm going to go ahead and weld this on here now. I'm going to start here, because this is kind of, I think, the most critical part that I want to make sure it lines up. want to show you what's going on here. I got quite a big gap, so I'm just going to keep welding from up here in this direction, and I'm confident that this gap is going to close up. It's not that bad actually. It's actually pretty good up, pretty tight. It's getting tight there now, so we'll see. It's getting tight right in this area, but down at the bottom it's fairly big, so we'll see. It's actually kind of almost overlapping right there at that point. So I might have to do some hammering on that in a minute here to open it up a bit. All right, as promised, I'm going to show you this. I've done all the metal finishing on it, planished it out, ground down the weld seam, and I'm pretty happy with it. Drilled the holes for the running board mount, and now I've got to make the there's a brace that goes in here. I have to make one of these to put inside it, but that's not too exciting. And here's this guy. This is all good. Yeah, it went in there really nice. I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of a transition here. It's visible from this angle, but I don't think it's going to show up. It is a bit high here. So I do have to do a bit more work on this to get it to exactly where it needs to be. But I think that went in there very nicely. So I'm just going to move on. I got to reposition this fender so I can address this issue here. So that's the next thing to do on it, and that's it for the repairs as far as cracks go. And then it'll just be a matter of getting it all straightened out and ready for filler. I am going to fill this. It's not that good, so it's going to need some filler. I don't want to have a lot of filler in this area because this is a stress area where the running board goes on, so I'm going to be pretty careful about that. But the rest of the fender actually looks really good. So, and of course, I got to de-rust it. So, on to this part here. So that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. And I learned a couple of things. Hope you learned something. So mainly I learned that I got to shrink this edge more when prior to rolling it under to retain or to keep the shape up here. So anyways, it all turned out okay. You know, it's going to require some fine tuning, but there's a nice little jagger thing under here to cut somebody's finger, probably mine, but anyways, I'll have to deal with that. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.